Bankers Are Anybody Like Else poem. In this ironical poem, he celebrates banks only to hint at the fact that if they function by rules, they may be doing a disservice instead of service to society. The poem is full of rich imagery describing the opulence in banks as a stark contrast to the poor mother who needs money to feed her baby. In his inimitable style, he depreciates banks under the garb of celebrating them. The poet Ogden Nash says in his poem, "Bankers are just like anybody else, except richer," that his poem intends to celebrate banks. Thus, he makes the readers feel curious when the poet states that his poem celebrates banks. The banks will let us hear the clink-clank sound of the coins and the rustling sound of the currency notes. Of course, money is an attraction that draws people towards it always and forever. Suddenly the poet changes the tone of his voice. He comments that bankers dwell in luxurious buildings. It is because they encourage deposits and discourage withdrawals. The stingy attitude of the bankers in lending, and particularly to the poor, sets the tone of the poem. He comments that banks are cautious conservatives and the bankers deny lending money to the needy. They dislike the people who have no money and no property to give them as security. But the bankers shrewdly and tactfully behave with the rich persons. On seeing their rich customers, they express their kindliness and greet them courteously and offer to lend as much money as they want. They would serve the rich customers with utmost care and affection. The vice presidents of the banks nod their heads positively to such proposals. They would even send money to the customer's place if they want. The poet says that bankers deserve our appreciation. The tone of the poet sounds very bitter and harsh. It means the very opposite of what is said. The poet criticizes the too much commercial attitude of the bankers. They are pro-rich and anti-poor. The banks have to act as catalysts of social change. They have to see that the resources are evenly distributed among the various classes of society. They have to encourage the entrepreneurs and empower the deserving poor and hardworking people. But they are too cautious and conservative. They cannot discharge their duties to the society. They have to fulfill the objectives of the banking industry. They play safe and fail to realize their obligations and duties. They would only facilitate the rich to grow richer and the poor become poorer. The poet hints that bankers owe a duty to society. Wealth has to be distributed evenly. Those who do not have money but have the skills and talents, banks ought to help them to come up. But if the bankers play only by rules and stick on to their conservatism and pro-rich stance, they can earn profits without the social gain. Such attitude is absolutely undeserving. Thus, the poet prompts the bankers and readers to think of their duties and responsibilities with the ultimate objectives of the banking industry.